Hello and welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Ankita Mukherjee. A day after the CBI booked former MD and CEO of ICICI Bank, Chanda Kochhar, along with her husband Deepak Kochhar and Videocon Group's VN Dhoot for cheating and conspiracy, the officer probing that case was shunted out. SP Sudhanshu Dhar Mishra, who had signed that FIR on the 22nd of January, was transferred the very next day. It was 2 days later that Union Minister Arun Jaitley wrote a blog against that FIR, calling it investigative adventurism and a journey to nowhere. After the CBI said the roles of other big names in the banking industry also needed to be investigated beyond the three prime accused. The Congress accused the government of pressurizing the CBI and signalling it to go slow in the case, with Rajya Sabha MP Anand Sharma even saying Mr. Jaitley's remarks amounted to threatening the agency. Well, today, CBI sources said the officer was being probed for delays in the investigation after suspected information leaks. But is there more to all of this than meets the eye at a time when the CBI is still without a new chief? Well, let's go across to my colleague Neeta Sharma, who's been tracking all of those details. Neeta, now this becomes the second CBI officer who's going to be investigated by the agency. What is the latest that we're hearing on this, and what does this really mean for the agency as a whole?
Ankita, if you look at the timeline, in 2017 December, it is CBI which registered a preliminary inquiry in this case. And only in March 2018, it was, it came out in the media and the reporters came to know. But a year later, January 22nd, 2019, a case was registered. The investigating, one of the in charge wrote to the Sudhanshu Dhar Mishra, who is the SP, saying whether a case should be, registered, because all the evidences are pointing towards that angle. Mr. Mishra gave a consent. On 22nd, the case was registered, and on 23rd, he was moved out from his branch. Sources in CBI saying that there was, enough information that he and his other fellows were leaking out information and could have leaked out information about the searches also. The searches were conducted on 24th of January, and Mr. Jaitley wrote a blog a day later. So, the timeline is very interesting. Now the CBI is saying that SP Mohit Verma is the one who is investigating the case. However, the kind of controversies we have seen in CBI, earlier it was in Rakesh Asthana case also, one officer was, doubting the other officer. We have seen in Arushi's case also, one team, investigating the other, and the other saying the investigations done by the first one was not correct. And in this case also now. So Mr. Nageshwar Rao, interim director, he likes to believe, he likes us to believe that he is the one who's calling shots, but people in the government claim that it is not him who is calling the shots. There are other people also that is why Mr. Jaitley had written a blog. In fact, even the former finance minister, Mr. Chidambaram, had pointed towards that direction, that Mr. Jaitley knows what ails the CBI. So lots of questions are being asked. This is an election year. All these are politically sensitive cases, whether this is this case, or it is the mining case, or it is Bhupender Huda's case, or the opposition obviously is going to cry political vendetta. But it is up to the CBI. But if it keeps doing things like this, obviously the opposition is going to question it. Ankita?
All right, Neeta, thanks very much indeed. And a full-blown war really over these latest developments in the CBI, which never really seems too far away from the headlines these days, and perhaps almost always for the wrong reasons. Thanks very much for joining us with that, Neeta. Let me take this straight across to our guest tonight, AP Singh, former director of the CBI, joining us on the show. Desh Ratan Nigam, political analyst and lawyer, is with us as well, as is Mohammad Khan, spokesperson of the Congress. We're also going to be joined by MK Venu, founding editor of the Wire.in. But Mohammad Khan, let me begin with you. We now know that the officer in charge of this probe was shunted out the very next day after he signed off on this FIR against the Kochhars and Venugopal Dhoot of Videocon. The CBI also talked about probing a veritable who's who of the banking industry. Yeah. It was 2 days after that Mr. Jaitley came out with those very sharp comments on social media. And I'm going to read out from that blog, where he talks about, if we include the entire who's who of the banking industry with or without evidence, he said, what cause are we serving or actually hurting? He also talks about how sitting 1,000 kilometers away When I read the list of potential targets in the ICICI case, the thought that crossed my mind was against the same. Why is there a journey to nowhere being undertaken? He also talked about megalomania being the reason for poor conviction rates in the CBI. Now, my question to you is very simple. Is it proper for a minister to be commenting on an ongoing CBI investigation?
Absolutely not. It amounts to some sort of a forward guidance. I would simply say this. We echo your sentiments from the beginning of the debate. What is going on with the CBI? The minister is openly citing his preference with regard to an ongoing investigation. He's expressing his views, and remember, this is one of the 3 senior most people in this government. He's expressing his views in an ongoing investigation. The officer in charge of the investigation is transferred. The investigation itself has been delayed by almost 2 years, and then we see this. Given the context in which all of this has occurred, Ankita ji, when we see the CBI jiske tukde kar diye sarkar ne, and we see this kind of these kind of words being used, adventurism is how Jaitley Sahab is describing the agency doing its work. No one is surprised. And now the cat is out of the bag. This government tacitly and now openly tries to interfere with investigations. That is exactly what we've been saying. I think Mr. Jaitley should explain his statement, sitting thousands of miles away or not.
Deshratna Nigam, the same question to you. Should Mr. Jaitley have been commenting during an ongoing investigation in this manner on social media or elsewhere? And also in the light of these latest developments, the CBI talking about how they're now investigating the very officer that signed off on this FIR, what are we to think?
See, one thing is very clear. CBI, being an autonomous institution, does not report to the finance minister. So finance minister is not privy to what is happening with the CBI or the material that is before the CBI. I don't think finance minister is even aware of that or is in the knowledge of that. Therefore, in that context, this statement is uncalled for. And therefore, but what he was probably speaking on the larger issues of investigation, mechanism of investigation, and the conviction rate. Right from the day of inception, the conviction rate of CBI is very poor. But the fact remains, CBI, being an autonomous institution, does not report to the finance minister. I don't think the finance minister has any basis of the allegations that have come up, because unless until you have the material before or the evidence before yourself, one cannot make such conclusions.
Now, what are these larger issues that you talk about, Deshratna Nigam, that you think the minister may have been referring to?
You know, because we are all aware of the general rate of conviction of the CBI, which is quite poor. So he was probably referring to the evidence collection, the proper filing of the FIR, the charge sheets, maybe to that extent. But certainly, if one refers to this particular context, I do not agree with his statement.
Okay, fair enough. AP Singh, I want you to bear on this, being a former director of the CBI yourself. When there is this sort of comment on social media by a minister rebuking an agency, you know, can one really expect a fair probe in the matter? Mr. Deshratna Nigam talks about the autonomy of the CBI, but let's face it, the CBI's credibility has been sort of vastly compromised in recent weeks and months.
Ankita, first I'd like to correct Mr. Nigam that the conviction rate of CBI is actually quite high. It's 70% compared to what the various state police agencies conviction rate is, which is around 20%, of between 15 and 20. So CBI, the conviction rate is very high, except the problem is that in high profile cases, because the cases themselves are high profile, they're big lawyers, there are a lot of delays. So maybe in the high profile cases there is a problem, but otherwise the conviction rate is pretty good. Now, as far as comments by people from outside,
but it isn't just Mr. Deshratna Nigam. That's what the Union Finance Minister also said. Let me just quote from that blog to you. He says, one of the reasons our conviction rates are poor is that adventurism and megalomania overtake our investigators and professionalism takes a backseat. Now, that's a very serious indictment of the CBI. How do you respond, AP Singh, to those comments made by Mr. Jaitley?
I think he's making a general comment. I just clarified to you that the conviction rate of the CBI is very high. It's 70% compared to any state police organization. So that is not correct that the conviction rates are poor. But yes, as I said, in high profile cases there is a problem. We do have, we don't have the the proper legal mechanism, the ability to pursue cases to their logical end, and so some cases do suffer. Now, as far as this particular case that we are discussing and talking about, I have also gone through the FIR, and there is, as far as the accused in this case are concerned, it's very clear. You have the three, you have the Videocon, Mr. Dhoot, and you have two others who are Mrs. Chanda Kochar and her husband. So the FIR doesn't name anybody else as an accused except their companies. But in the body of the FIR, they have gone and named, they have said that there was a sanctioning committee, and they've named the members of the sanctioning committee and said that they may also be investigated.
Right.
Now,
and
that
these are some of the top names of the banking
that
industry.
That, in my opinion, that was not necessary, because it's not something that you put in the FIR. That is a matter of investigation. That is a matter of further investigation, not needed in the body of the FIR. So maybe that could have been avoided. As far as the officer that you are talking about being transferred, and that is, you know, there has been certain suspicion about why this officer was transferred immediately after the FIR was registered. So, I mean, I'm not privy to the internal what's happening inside the CBI, but from the newspaper reports and the news reports I saw, it was that he had compromised the searches, or he was suspected of compromising the searches, and in that case, any organization would immediately remove him.
Okay.
Ankita, I need to come in here to
Right.
make some corrections.
Now,
what I was saying about the low conviction rate of
Yes.
3% in corruption cases, not the overall conviction rate.
Okay, fair
and
enough.
the
We'll take your point, but
parliamentary panel is reviewing this.
Okay, fair enough. But let's just pick up the points that Mr. AP Singh are making, and I want to take that across to MK Venu, who's joining us on the discussion. Now, the fact that the officer was in charge of this case was shunted out the very next day that he signed off on the FIR against the Kochars and Venugopal Dhoot of Videocon in the ICICI loan case. The FIR talked about the need to probe other top names of the banking industry, MK Venu. And, you know, the immediate response 2 days later from Mr. Jaitley was megalomania is the reason for poor conviction rates. He talks about how there's adventurism and megalomania, and that overtakes our investigators, and professionalism takes a back seat. Now, for a union minister to come in with such strong comments about an ongoing investigation, MK Venu, you know, what is your take on this?
You know, on the face of it, Ankita, I find it very disturbing that that a CBI officer he signs he just files an FIR, and the government moves in to prejudge his actions by suggesting that his initial, it's just a first stage. You know, you will if they're innocent, if there's no evidence, eventually they'll let off. FIR.
All right, we seem to be having
very preliminary stage. Authorities come in and say that this is professionalism or this is adventurism.
Right.
I think it's a very bad precedent. And recently we have seen in other cases, in some cases they say it's professionalism, in some cases they say it's adventurism. So this is unprecedented that the political authorities should judge a case at the stage of FIR at the stage.
Okay, fair enough. But MK Venu, does Mr. Jaitley have a point when he says that you can't cast a net too wide on a basis of sort of presumptions without any evidence? You know, because the CBI did say that it wanted to look at the role of several other top names in the banking industry, whether it was the current CEO and MD of ICICI Bank, KV Kamath of the BRICS Bank, Sanjay Chatterjee of Goldman Sachs. A lot of people were named as, you know, people they would want to follow up on. So was that what set off the alarm bells?
My sense of what set off the alarm bells was that all the members of the credit committee, now there are several members of the credit committee who participated in that consortium lending. It was a consortium lending. Now, I'm not saying here that Chanda Kochar is guilty, but what I'm saying is, if there is no guilt, let the due process establish that. You know, here what is happening is because there are some names which, like KV Kamath, who's now this government appointed, the head of BRICS Bank in Shanghai, in China. Now they feel embarrassed that some people have been named in the FIR. So in a sense, they are just intervening at this stage. I mean, if you go back to the example of what the CBI chief, who is now removed, that Alok Verma did.
Yes.
He filed an FIR against Alok Astana. Even there, the political authorities intervened and said, no, this is also, I mean, I presume they said this is also adventurism. So wherever they think it doesn't.
Okay, fair enough. So you're saying that, there are repeated instances where
And,
there are sort of,
all the
developments in the CBI that seem to be sort of raising these concerns and red flags. Mohammad Khan, you had a point to make. We are talking about how this isn't the first instance where the CBI is investigating now one of its own. Rakesh Asthana, the special director, the number 2 in the CBI, was also being investigated in a bribe case, accepting bribe from one of the suspects in the case. That led to that huge controversy, which also saw Alok Verma eventually being sort of transferred out of the CBI altogether. Where does this leave the CBI's credibility as a whole, given the way events are playing out?
Well, the CBI is in a battle for its credibility. In fact, I would go so far as to say the crisis currently unfolding in the CBI has demolished its credibility to shreds. Andhra Pradesh withdrew the sanction that it had granted carte blanche for them to carry out investigations in the state. Other states are likely to follow. But I will make 3 very quick points, which echo the sentiments that you laid out at the beginning. The first is this: Mr. Jaitley is one of our most skilled politicians. He's an equally skilled lawyer as well. He knew for a fact what would be the full value and impact of this statement. He knew the kind of attention it would draw and the message it would send. You cannot divorce the man from the context. He knew that. Number 2, Mr. Jaitley as a lawyer knows that such a statement coming from a finance minister, and remember, he's no ordinary finance minister. He's one of the 3 most powerful people in this cabinet. That amounts to some degree of sending a signal. It is signaling as to what his intention is and making it very clear to the officers investigating the case. We also saw one of the officers getting transferred. For what reason? That will unfold in the fullness of time. And finally, the third reason that I want to tell you is, it's surprising that Mr. Jaitley has suddenly chosen now thousands of miles away to break his silence. When this adventurism was being indulged in against leaders of the opposition across the political spectrum, Mr. Jaitley was a silent spectator and didn't seem to have any strong opinions at that point of time. What has changed? Is it his proximity to some of these people that is influencing his view? That is the question we put forth before you.
Fair enough. Yes, do comment on that. Deshathan Nigam, are there 2 sets of standard operating procedures when it comes to, say, captains of industry and opposition netas?
See, no, certainly not. CBI is doing its job, and so far as the credibility of the CBI is concerned, Supreme Court, despite all these problems, handed over the case of Bihar Shelter Home to the CBI. So that credibility is still intact. Otherwise, CBI would have, Supreme Court would have said no, CBI has nothing to do with it. So its credibility is intact. And the fact remains, these large loans, whether of consortium or not, go to the level of the board. So the accountability of the board is always there. You can't just punish these lower level junior officials. So somewhere down the accountability, if something has gone wrong, this is preliminary stage, all the investigations will go on and the evidence would come on record.
So you agree with us?
And I would not indulge in political rhetoric, Mr. Khan, but that's your forte, and that's fine.
Okay, I'm going to
give. It sounds to me like you're agreeing with us.
No,
that Mr. Jaitley is ostensibly interfering. Or interfering
I'm not saying he's interfering, but I'm saying as an autonomous institution, it does not report to the finance minister, and therefore such statements are uncalled for. I said so in the beginning itself, and therefore what he was probably raising was much larger issues.
All right. AP Singh, I'm going to give the last comments on this discussion to you tonight because, given how the CBI's credibility has been called into question time and time again, would you say that this instance is perhaps, yet another one where serious questions are being raised?
No, actually, I read through this entire FIR and I find there's just one little paragraph where it says that the standing committee, the sanctioning committee, the role of the sanctioning committee may also be looked into.
Right.
And then they've gone and named the persons on the sanctioning committee.
And that itself seems to have triggered some panic.
Yeah, because if you see the FIR and you see the names of the accused persons, the sanctioning committee is not there. This is a matter of further investigation. So when you file a charge sheet, at that time, you will see whether these people are to be accused or not to be accused.
So would you say then that the minister's comments were premature?
No, I mean, it certainly raised certain alarm bells, because if you read the FIR, I mean, what was the requirement of naming these people? So that is something that
All right.
would
Well, we clearly
leave a
haven't heard the
question mark.
last of this. I'd like to thank our panelists for joining us on this discussion.